Today's podcast is a masterclass on how to turn your YouTube channel into an organic lead generating factory. Today's video offers a deep dive masterclass on how to optimize your YouTube channel in terms of turning it into a lead generation factory. I've never seen anything quite like YouTube. And its ability to, over time, as you add video, it turns into just this giant army of videos working on behalf of your brand, engaging with prospective buyers and sellers. And we're looking at our coaching ecosystem right now. And we have clients who are generating anywhere from dozens to hundreds of inbound organic for free leads every single month. I'm going to show you step by step the 3 most important optimizations. And it is going to be deep. This is a deep, lot of steps involved kind of podcast today, but I'm going to show you exactly what they're doing to optimize your channel so that you too can turn it into a lead generating factory. Before that though, I'm going to go through some news and updates in terms of what's happening in marketing, what's happening in social, what's happening in AI, what's happening in paid ads online. So news and updates, and then we go to the big kahuna topic today, which is your YouTube channel. Welcome to This Week in Marketing. My name is Jason Pantana. I'm your host and instructor, and I'm really glad you're here. If you're new to the channel, go ahead, if you wouldn't mind, and tap that little big red subscribe button and turn that little bell icon right next to it. It turns on notifications whenever we publish new content. So you're made aware of it right away and can get to work on the ideas right away. Whether you're watching or listening, I'm super glad you're here. I do want to make you aware this is going to have a lot of screen sharing going on today. So you might want to earmark this one, that if you're listening like in your car or at the gym or whatever, that's cool. Keep doing that. You might want to earmark this the one to go back and watch it on the YouTube channel, on Tom's website. Maybe watch this one too for the screen sharing purposes. Without further ado though, let's dive into your marketing news and updates. I've got some marketing news and updates, and there's some big news with YouTube advertising. Now, you've heard me talk on this show before about my passion for YouTube ads, the in-stream ads, the commercials that play before, during, and after other videos on YouTube. Because with YouTube ads comes the power of Google ads, because Google owns YouTube. And with Google ads, you can target people geographically. You can target them by their interest, by their intent. You can target people, according to Google, in your geographic area who are likely to move soon. People who are looking to purchase residential real estate. People who've actively been searching things like best real estate agent near me in your local marketplace, i.e. sellers. The power of targeting with Google ads, which is giving proxy to YouTube ads, is ridiculously powerful. I'm a big fan of YouTube in-stream ads, those commercials. Well, YouTube's no stranger to rip off and duplicate either R&D. You might have seen this on platforms like Peacock or Hulu, whereby when you're streaming TV or movies and you go to pause your video on your smart TV, instead of just staying frozen on the frame of the video you paused on, instead it transitions to a full bleed, full screen ad with maybe a QR code or a call to action. Anyways, YouTube's like, that's a smart idea. So you see it right here. The Verge broke the news that YouTube confirms your pause screen ad, the pause screen ad is now fair game for all advertisers. Now, what they haven't done is told us how do we run them. They haven't actually built in the configuration into Google Ads yet. And as soon as they do, I'm going to make a video about exactly how to do it. So this is more of news. I'm telling you that it's coming. And then once they make the functionality fully available, I'm going to do a training on it. You can see what it looks like here. I paused my screen and this showed up, and it's an ad where you can click it. So I'm imagining basically repurposing like your postcards. QR codes that scan to your home valuation landing page, search for homes or your list of homes under a certain price point. Any kind of a call to action you've used in the past for lead generating purposes, I'm imagining could be utilized here in this placement with YouTube pause screen ads. So you heard it here on This Week in Marketing. Keep an eye out for YouTube pause screen ads. Next up, you might have noticed some updates when it comes to the models behind the very famous AI ChatGPT. They launched their new O1 preview model. O stands for Omni. You might recall that before this one, their most recent update model was the 4.0 model, 4 Omni. So they shifted from the 4 and the 4 Turbo to the 4.0. I know this is just numbers and stuff. This is just their naming convention effectively for which model they're currently building on. Anyways, the O1 model effectively declares we're in the Omni business right now. So the Omni One preview model, what it's known for is advanced reasoning capabilities. And so on the screen, you're seeing here their breaking news. And they talk about safety and they talk about how it works. And I want to scroll down to these videos. This gives you a sense of really who they made this for. It's designed for incredibly complex advanced reasoning. So like genetics, for example. They've got economics, for example. They've got cognition, for example. They've got quantum physics, for example. I wish they had real estate up here, but they're looking at this in terms of this is the kind of reasoning capabilities that we need in our most advanced levels of science and mathematics and so forth. Anyways, I digress. If you open up your ChatGPT app, you notice that mine is set to ChatGPT 4.0 by default. All you have to do is click this little drop down. You can change it to the where to go? O1 preview uses advanced reasoning, or O1 mini faster at reasoning. A couple of things to be aware of. This O1 preview right now is currently limiting its plus subscribers to only 50 messages per week. It was originally 30 and they bumped it up. So that number is probably moving. I don't know when you're going to watch this video or listen to this podcast, but they are currently constraining and limiting people's access to it because it requires an incredible amount of computing power to perform these. So here's my recommendation. When you're doing a ChatGPT conversation, you should ask your message, do your prompts, whatever, your conversation, working with the 4.0 model. And then when it comes time to do the really, really big kahuna kind of task, you can actually switch it. So like if I say, I'm going to make this up really quick. I'm using 4.0. I might say, what is the best way to, I don't know, deep fry a hamburger? You're like, what? Things pop in my head. I don't know where they come from. Deep frying a hamburger can result in a crispy. Apparently people do this. I had no idea. It's giving you instructions and it's going to write. And this is the most ridiculous training I've ever done on this podcast. If you're listening, you're like, what in the world is happening right now? What's happening is I'm in ChatGPT and I asked it an absurd question for instructions on deep frying hamburgers. Anyways, when it's done, down here at this little footer toolbar, you see that it was written, or this, not written, but it was generated in the 4.0 model. I can click a drop down and I can change it to the O1 preview model so that I can then have it use that to repeat the task if I was dissatisfied, or I can just go up here at the very top and I can change to the O1 preview model and then I can do my prompt. So what I'm getting at is save the O1 preview model as kind of like your cleanup hitter. When you're ready for that really big complex task, you want it to write a full PDF. You want it to do something that requires advanced reasoning. Then you switch over to the O1 preview model and do all those sort of upfront setup work with the 4.0 model. Anyways, so that's the O1 preview model by ChatGPT. I'm curious, how are you using it? Has it done anything that you would reckon as being more advanced than using the 4.0 model? Let me know in the comments. And a final bit of marketing news, I guess you could call this news, so to speak, was a report that Social Media Today shared. Social media remains a key news source for Americans. And they have some charts and graphs that talk about how more and more adults in America are utilizing platforms like X and TikTok and Instagram and so forth to get their news. And here was the thought I had. That's not really relevant to marketing per se, unless you're in the news industry. But my thought was, what about real estate market news? How effectively are you wielding these platforms, bearing in mind that consumption among adults in the US is such that they are becoming more and more prone to get their information, maybe that's a broader term for it, off of social media? Are you being the informer on social media, talking about what's happening in your local marketplace, leveraging Reels, leveraging TikTok, leveraging X, leveraging Facebook, leveraging any other platform that is social to be the informant? I think that's the right term, right? You're the informant. Yeah, you're informing them. The informer. I don't know what the right word is. But to be the one who gives the news about your local marketplace to prospective buyers and sellers in your community. There's a real opportunity here to use these platforms in that way. Plus, it makes your content shareable. We've talked about it on this show before, that when your content is shareable on platforms like Instagram and it gets shared through the DMs, that makes the Instagram overlords very happy and they suggest and recommend your content more readily. So give folks the news, the hyperlocal real estate news. That does it for your news and updates and marketing. On to the main show, how to optimize your YouTube channel to get found by prospective customers in your local marketplace. As a real estate marketing coach, I've seen a lot of rockstar agents and teams who crush it with platforms like Instagram or TikTok or their email lists. I mean, there's no wrong way to make an income or generate leads or business in this industry per se, but I gotta tell you, I've never really seen anything quite like YouTube when it comes to an organic lead generating machine. I'm talking about optimizing a channel on YouTube that has the power and capability to generate hundreds of inbound, high intent, organic, zero cost leads every single month. What would it be like if you could turn on an absolute faucet of opportunity, lead gen, dozens to hundreds of prospective inbound leads coming to you because of the videos you're publishing on YouTube? That's what we're going to get into today, is what are the 3 optimizations to massively improve the performance of your YouTube channel, whereby those videos you're publishing, they become an army of videos going out on the behalf of your brand to attract prospective buyers and sellers. I've never seen anything quite like YouTube. So if you're looking to have organic inbound lead gen and you're looking to get a lot of leads over time, and I'm not promising that next week this is going to be like, hey, I'm getting hundreds of leads a month now. No. But a year from now, what's it like if you're getting double-digit leads per week? 2 years from now, what would it be like if you're getting hundreds of leads per month? What could be possible for the future of your business if you created a scalable, organic, low-cost lead gen strategy on YouTube? This is about the 3 optimizations to make on your channel so that you can turn it into a lead generating absolute machine for your business. First things first, you're going to want to fine tune your YouTube channel. That is, you want to customize it so that you're easily discovered and that when folks do stumble upon your YouTube channel, they have a really positive experience and they know what to do next. When you head over to your YouTube studio, some of you might have gone, my what? Yes, when you have a YouTube channel, they automatically give you what's called a YouTube studio. It's the back-end access to controlling and modifying your channel. One simply needs to be logged into their YouTube channel and then type in this link in your browser. Go to studio.youtube.com. And when you're there, you're currently looking at mine on the screen right now. You'll click on this little magic wand called customization, and it brings up channel customization like so. By the way, if you're listening to this on a podcasting app, you may want to earmark this episode that there's a lot of screen sharing. So you might want to jump over to YouTube or on Tom Ferry's website at some point in time to go watch this episode. You can listen to it. I'll try to make it as listener friendly as I possibly can, but there's going to be a lot of wanting to show and tell on how you optimize your channel. Anyways, here we are in the channel customization section. There's 2 tabs, profile and home tab. Beginning first with the profile tab, there's what's called a banner image. It's also called channel art. It gives you recommended dimensions. There are templates in Canva for these recommended dimensions. And I want to point out to you, there are 3 elements that need to be present in your channel art. On the screen, you should be seeing Ken Pozek's YouTube channel right now. This dude absolutely crushes it in Orlando, Florida on YouTube. He's one of our great coaching clients, generating about 250 inbound organic leads per month off of YouTube. Tell me that doesn't work, because it works. We're looking at his banner image, i.e. his channel art. And the first, I'm going to point out all 3 features. I'm going to show you 4 examples. We're going to be bouncing between 4 different YouTube channels today to give you lots of examples and evidence of what works and why it works. There is first a clear picture of who the presenter is. I see his name. I see his face in the channel art. Next, there is a promise or a purpose of the channel, Orlando's favorite real estate resource. It tells me what it is or what it's about, a theme, so to speak. And then last, there is a call to action, subscribe to stay in the know. Let's pop over to Ashley Lazarian's channel in Georgia. So once again, we see the creator, Ashley. We see a call to action, subscribe for what? Real estate content, life in the burbs of Georgia, new videos every week. So it tells me what's the purpose or theme of this channel. It invites me to subscribe to it. And then it says there's a new video every single week. You can see that I am subscribed to it. It makes a promise. Channel art looks super good. You see Atlanta in the background. It's a nice channel art. Next is Shane Bergman. And it says, Shane Bergman, there's our creator, 5-star. There's a lot of good little extra stuff here. The 5 stars, see our Google reviews, want to buy or sell in the Space Coast. I love the left and the right hand extra business on his channel art. But here it's got the name and the image of the creator, Shane, Space Coast Real Estate and Lifestyle. It talks about what the channel is focused on. It's topics and niche, so to speak. And then here's our CTA, subscribe for almost weekly content. A little bit of humor, which is totally his personality. One last example here is Shannon Gillette out in Arizona. I see who the creator is. I get a lot of social proof about Shannon. And then it tells me she's a top 10 Phoenix East Valley realtor, and it's Arizona real estate and lifestyle. So I'm gaining the sense about what the channel's promise is and who it's for. Your channel art, your image, your banner image should include a picture and a name of who you are or who the creator or creators are for this channel. It should talk about what is the purpose or the promise of this channel. And then it should call your viewers into action. Subscribe, something along those lines. Jumping back over to the channel customization, that's the banner image. Next is your picture or your profile image. This one's really simple. I want to see your face. I get it. If you're a team, you might want to put a logo, but I want to see your face. Like Ken shows me his face, Ashley, her face, Shane, his face, Shannon, her face. People want to connect with the creator of the content. So show me your face in that profile image. That's a really important segment. Next, let's get into the language fields where we scroll down to the name of your channel. And this is a big opportunity to source some keywords that you want to be known by, so that if folks go Googling or YouTubing, searching for those keywords, there's a strong sense of SEO for your channel to rank in those relevant searches. Mine says Jason Pantana, that's who I am. And then it says real estate marketing coach. Why? Because those are keywords that I want to rank on. Next up is the handle. That's like a username. My username is @JasonPantana. I'm going to scroll past description and I want to jump down to channel URL and custom URL. The channel URL is the actual URL that was assigned to my channel at the time it was created. I can't control that. But YouTube does offer what's called a vanity URL or a custom URL, and that's another opportunity to drive the right keywords. So my custom URL is youtube.com/c as in channel /Jason Pantana. So whether you navigate to that link or you navigate to this link down here with my handle, either way, you end up at my channel. My imperative to you is to look at your overall online presence. Is there a naming convention, a matchy consistency across all of your presence online, on your Google business profile, on your Instagram, on your TikTok, on your X, on your Facebook, on your YouTube? Are you making it easy for Google to figure out, it's the same business. Those are all the same profiles, to infer and make that connection? One other way you can make that even easier for YouTube, we'll circle back to description, is in your links. I've connected to my link tree, which I use links.co, my Instagram, my Facebook, my LinkedIn, my Twitter. I'm trying to make it as easy as possible as I can for YouTube to understand where I'm present. Now, these links don't all have to be present on my channel. They don't have to all be displayed, but they're there for YouTube to be able to infer, okay, this is Jason's business on Instagram and on TikTok, and you should be doing the same thing. Let's jump back up here to description. This is effectively your bio, but I want to draw to your attention the importance of putting in the right keywords. Folks are going to be looking things up on Google and YouTube, and the question is, did you infuse the right keywords so that YouTube knows how to pick up what you're putting down and put you in front of the right prospective customers in your local marketplace? And then last, we scroll down to the bottom and you see an opportunity to use an email they can connect with you on. I would advise you get an email dedicated to your YouTube channel so you know that any inquiry that comes to that email came from YouTube. And then also you can add video watermarks. That's not a big deal. Just in case people are going to be embedding your videos on blogs and stuff, that's a good way to protect that people always know it's your videos. It's always branded and marked for you. Now, I did say there's two tabs. If you go to the top, there's the profile tab and then the home tab. And there's another opportunity to customize your channel here with this layout. And so this controls what people see when they go to your channel page. What playlist do they see? And then in what order are those playlists listed? What happens if you're going live or if you schedule a live stream? You have full control over what people see, playlists, featured channels, all that content. You get to control the experience in terms of when somebody lands on your YouTube channel, have you optimized it so that they subscribe and come back and keep watching your content over and over and over again so you can build that audience. Now, while we're still in YouTube Studio, I want to point out some other features here. If you click on this gear in the lower left for your settings, they do have what are called upload defaults. And this is another big opportunity whereby you can, in your description that would accompany any respective video that you publish, you can include defaults, which is where I always keep up with what's going on my other channels. I link to my email list. I can link to digital products. You may have calls to action like, hey, sign up for this newsletter. Hey, get a free home valuation. Various calls to action like that you want inside of every single video. There are a lot of opportunities to really tailor and tweak your YouTube channel so that it's best optimized for prospective buyers and sellers in your local marketplace in the YouTube Studio. Now I'm going to jump over to, I think we'll look at Ken's first. I'm going to point out the images that are associated with his videos. These are his thumbnail images. Your thumbnail images make a big deal. That didn't make sense. Your thumbnail images don't make a big deal. They are a big deal. A thumbnail has three main parts. A thumbnail has the background image, which should invoke a feeling of interest, intrigue, curiosity. It has the subject, that's Ken talking, and his facial expression or hand motion should also create some level of curiosity or what's going on here, a gap of some kind. And then the text. The three parts of the thumbnail are the background image, the creator who is the subject, and the text. And if you look at his thumbnails, you're going to see a very specific style that is consistent across this channel, across this page. If you go look at Ashley's, you're going to see the same. Now, one trend to notice is they're using a lot of AI generative images in the background these days. But again, you're seeing the same elements, the background image, the subject, the text, and it all creates curiosity. If you look at Shane, you're going to see some of the same stuff. If you look at Shannon, you're going to see some of the same stuff. Your thumbnail images make a massive difference in terms of the performance of your videos. You can use Canva or Adobe Express or whatever tool you want for creating those, but the thumbnails are another piece of the aesthetics that are designed to entice viewers to want to engage with your channel. The next way to optimize your YouTube channel is through implementing advanced audience engagement techniques, the operative word being engagement. Now, I've said before, and I'm going to say it again right now, YouTube is mostly a search engine, but it is still somewhat of a social network. There's obviously a tension, a dichotomy between this idea of search versus scroll. The dominant way people are going to discover your videos on YouTube is through search. I'm going to say that again. The dominant way people are going to discover your videos on YouTube is through search. They might do a search like moving to Houston, Texas. And then because you've built SEO and authority with your videos and your optimizations on that topic, your video ranks. And they watch one, and then maybe it starts getting suggested. It becomes a gateway and a snowball effect into watching 2 videos and 3 videos. And you're building momentum over time. Notwithstanding, you can do a whole lot more than that, because here's the challenge a lot of YouTubers face. And I hope this point really computes for you. A lot of YouTubers are making content kind of like Field of Dreams, Kevin Costner, I think it was like the late 80s that it came out. If you build it, they will come. Well, if you make these videos, they're going to watch, but they're watching kind of autonomously. And you're just hoping that they're going to reach out to you on their terms. But you have no real knowledge if they're going to reach out or not. In fact, what could happen is they could be watching, there could be, I don't know, dozens of people watching your videos every single week like clockwork. And they're thinking, boy, when I buy a house, I'm working with her. She's the best. But unbeknownst to you, they go to some open house on some random Sunday, they meet some other agent, they hit it off, and then they have a relationship with that agent now, and you're cut out of the mix, and you didn't even know it. And so the challenge is, how do you get these people into conversation sooner before they're actually ready to take that step into buying or selling directly? You can't just wait for it to be like ready to roll. You got to have that conversation started sooner. You got to build your audience. You got to engage with your audience. How do you do it? Well, I've got a few techniques or ideas for you. The first is through conversation priming. In your videos, you're going to want to prime people to leave you comments. How do you do that? Well, how do you think you do that? I just did it. I asked you a question, and that question made your brain go, I should answer. And the way your brain is going to answer is naturally through commenting. How would I do that? I would ask questions that get people to want to comment. What do you think about that? Are you asking questions in your videos? I did it again. It's called conversation priming, and it gets people to want to put comments in there. Now, you might also notice that I'm talking directly to you. I'm avoiding using language like, hey, what we want to do, or let's all do this. I'm avoiding all-inclusive language, and I'm talking directly to you. Now, as you're watching this, there could be thousands of other people watching this too. I'm also talking to you and you and you and you and you, and that's the nature of using second-person perspective. In your videos, I'm going to recommend that you use second-person perspective, that is to say, you-based language, because when you speak to the one, you speak to them all. It is so much more personally engaging. When you use all-inclusive language like we, us, they, it might seem inclusive, but it's also allowing your viewers to hide in anonymity. They can remain anonymous behind the scenes, lost in the crowd, and you're not engaging them. You've got to get the comments rolling. You got to get the conversation rolling. Otherwise, you run the risk that people might meet some agent or get referred to some agent before you ever knew they existed, even though that they had the intent to want to work with you from the very beginning. You got to get the conversation rolling. Another way to do that is through the community section. So with your YouTube channel, there's a whole section called community where you can actually publish image posts. You can conduct polls and quizzes, and it's additional ways to engage with your audience. I highly recommend you use the community section. And then last, I recommend that you respond to every comment. If and when your users, your viewers, they make their comments, you got to get in there and give them a response, give them a reply, and go deep with them because you want to build that relationship. If you're not building a relationship, you're not going to get the full business potential that YouTube can give you. You're just waiting for some lucky layups, I guess you could say, but if you want the real payout of lead generation, it's all about forming relationships. How do you do that? You got to get the conversation rolling. And last but certainly not least, you've got to optimize your channel for YouTube's algorithm. I keep saying it, it's search versus scroll. YouTube is predominantly a search engine. The number one way people are going to find your videos on YouTube is they search things they're wanting to learn about or questions or topics. It doesn't mean there aren't other ways to get what YouTube calls traffic. Traffic is how people navigate to your videos to watch them. You can get traffic through the Shorts feed, through the Explore page, through the subscriptions feed, through external links, like they got your email and clicked it and went to your YouTube. There are other ways to get it, but the biggest way you're likely gonna get views on YouTube is through search. So the question then is, how are you optimizing your videos for search? That is to say, search and discovery, to get discovered in the search results. Now, algorithmically, there are two variables YouTube really cares the most about: click-through rate and watch time. And they're kind of a checks and balances of each other, if you will. So click-through rate works like this. Somebody runs a search for how to buy a house in Houston, Texas in 2024. Or how to buy a house with 0% down, Houston, Texas, 2024. And then maybe Katie Day with Moving to Texas video ranks in the search results. And then maybe it's like the number 2 place, and there's another video above it, number 1 in the search results. Click-through rate is, well, YouTube knows how many times it's ranked Katie's video. And it's paying attention to, if I show Katie's video 1,000 times in the search results or in the Explore page or these other sections, and it weights them based upon where is it the most critical. If I showed this video 1,000 times, out of the 1,000 times shown, how many times was it clicked? It's called a click-through rate. And so let's say Katie's video got shown 1,000 times and it was clicked, I don't know, 48 times or 100 times. Let's say it's 100 times. That means it has a 10% click-through rate. That's pretty darn effective. Then YouTube's like, wow, Katie's video gets more clicks than the number 1 video. Maybe Katie's video should become the number 1 video. And so click-through rate is a really big deal to YouTube. How do you influence it? Well, the biggest impact or factor that contributes to you getting your videos clicked is its thumbnail. That thumbnail should be enticing. It's why I talked about the 3 elements of it: the background scene, the creator, you, and the text, all creating curiosity. Ooh, what's this all about? Click. Now, in addition to your thumbnail image, there are a few or a couple of other variables that also play into it. One is the runtime. How long is your video? You're gonna wanna pay attention to other alternative videos for given searches. Like if the search phrase is how to buy a house with all cash, how to buy a house 0% down, Houston, Texas, 2024. If that's the search, you're gonna wanna look at what other videos rank. And if your video is 42 seconds long and every other video is 4 minutes and 18 seconds long, you're an outlier. It's gonna likely not perform as well. A viewer will likely take a quick inventory of about how much meat is on the bone of this video. You have to consider that because YouTube is a search engine and people, the number 1 way they find videos on YouTube is they search the contents, they go searching for the topic. That generally implies that they have a greater appetite to watch more video. Versus on Instagram, you're just scrolling, scroll. Your attention is very fleeting, it's very fragmented, you're gonna move on to the next very quickly. But on YouTube, you're likely looking for something of essence, something of substance, because you came looking for the topic. And so super short can work against you. You're gonna wanna make sure that your video's run times are comparable to other competing videos, or it may be that your video is either too long or it lacks perspective quality because maybe it's too short, for instance. And then another variable is chapters. You have the ability to add what are called chapters by timestamping in the description. So you can say it like at 18 seconds, we talked about this. So you just say 0:18 and then what happens is automatically YouTube will convert that text in the description of the video into hyperlinks that will timestamp to those specific locations, and it will break it into chapters. So that helps too, because you can get a sense as a viewer about what's in this video. It also takes up more of the screen. So when a video ranks in the search results and it has chapters, rather than showing the immediate next video in the search results, you'll see some of the chapters beneath it, which means your screen is visually taking over, your video is visually taking over more of the screen space, commanding more attention, drawing folks to want to click your video. So click-through rate. How many times does it get clicked when it's shown on YouTube? They're paying attention. If it has poor click-through rate, it's going to be shown less frequently. If it has high click-through rate, it's going to be shown more often. How do you influence click-through rate? Mostly through your thumbnails, but also through how long is the video comparably compared to other videos in that alternative search, and then also chapters. Then you could talk about titles, but I'll get to titles next, because the next variable that is factored into YouTube's algorithm is watch time. Remember I said checks and balances. So they click it, they go to watch it. The check and balance is how long do they watch it? Do they immediately swipe back to go to the next video? Ouch, that's going to work against you. So YouTube has the ability to flush out, was the thumbnail just clickbait and then the video really lacked and did not deliver on the promised results, and so the viewer just immediately bounced or didn't watch it. YouTube is analyzing how long do people watch your videos. It's a signal of quality. So what can you do to keep people watching your videos longer? Well, that's more of a performance technique, if anything else. I recommend following the tease, kick, hook framework. Tease, kick, hook. Tease, and it applies no matter how long your video is. Your video could be 18 minutes long or 8 minutes long or 80 seconds long, whatever. Tease, kick, hook. Tease is an inherent promise at the beginning of the video that tells them what that hook's gonna give them. So you're preparing them for the satisfaction of what you'll ultimately deliver to them. Tease. The kick is kind of like earnest money. It's a gesture of, hey, when I get to the hook, it's going to, you can count on me. It's going to measure up. It's there. So the kick is like a little bump you give them in the beginning that says, hey, this video, if it already gave me that much, I can only imagine how good the hook must be. And then the hook is ultimately the payoff, what was promised in the tease section. You're going to want to keep people viewing. How do you do that? By preparing them for what they're going to get and then walking them through the anticipation of receiving that and being satisfied by what you have to offer in your video. Tease, kick, hook. And so finally, one last section, let's talk about do's and don'ts when it comes to YouTube videos. What are the taboo practices? What are the you should do practices? First, beginning with the do's. What would be a really good practice? Well, a really good practice would be to organize bingeable playlists. You have the ability in YouTube to create playlists. There are different kinds of playlists. They have what are called series playlist, podcast playlist, or just a playlist. So for example, let's say you have a video show that's like a weekly market update video show. That would be considered a series playlist. But let's say in that video show that you talk in some cases about the west side or the east side of town. And then you have another video show that's property tours in and around town. And some of those videos are property tours on the west side or the east side. You could also create then sub playlists that take all your east side content, all your west side content, and it groups it together so that somebody who's interested in the east side or the west side has one definitive place to keep watching, like on repeat, binge watching video after video after video after video, which is then racking up a lot of watch time because all of a sudden you became super valuable to YouTube because people keep going from one video to the next. You should organize playlists. They also have a tag feature in the playlist called podcast. If you do a video-based podcast, you should mark it as a podcast because that can also give it distribution in a dedicated section just for podcasts on YouTube. You should do bingeable playlist on your YouTube channel. Maybe those channel playlists are first-time home buyers, luxury, downsizers. What are the segments where you might create content that you could group together that is designed to appeal to a specific group and then go deeper so that they're more likely to convert? Bingeable playlists. Next, you should consider doing a live stream show. Once you start having an audience and a subscriber base, it's really good to engage them. What happens if you do a weekly or a bi-weekly live stream show as a way to engage with them? Going live is a really great way to reach broader groups. If you look at the audience insights on your YouTube studio, you'll likely see that some maybe demographics or segments of your audience prefer short form content, prefer the long form content, prefer the live stream content. You want to mix it up. The live stream is a really good play. Another good practice is leveraging YouTube Shorts. They're vertical video short form clips. You may just want to use like clips from your long form content, or you might want to contribute to them directly, but the YouTube Shorts is definitely a good practice for your YouTube channel. And then one last recommendation is leveraging end screens. Now, by default, when you finish a video, it will try to get you to click to watch a next video. You can control that experience. You can drive your viewership to the playlist where they can watch on repeat or to other videos. You want to leverage your end screens to try to route and direct traffic, that is viewership, to the right next video so that it makes sense for them. Those are the do's, these are the don'ts. Don't post erratically. You want to post at a set time, whether it's daily or weekly or every other day. What matters most is the repetitious frequency of it. It needs to be at a set time. Think about it like this. Within every video it's like the DNA of a video. Within every video is a key of who viewed it, where were they when they watched it, how did they find their way to it. It's almost like a neural pathway that YouTube learns. So when you post at a specific time, like if you post at 7:15 a.m. on Mondays, for instance, YouTube starts to get trained on, okay, I expect a video from Jason Pantana on Mondays at 7:15, and I can predict who's going to watch it, from where they're going to watch it, where they're going to be, when they're going to be, because people follow certain rhythms. And YouTube, like every other platform out there, is aware of people's session times, when they're likely to log on. It's a Monday at 7:15, they're likely going to get on at this time for this long. It can predict it. But when you change the time of your posting, you take all that data and all that learning and all that training away from YouTube, and now it's starting over with how to distribute your content. And like any other platform, how it starts is how it goes. So the better it does in the beginning, the better it will do long term. You want to set your videos up for success by posting at the same time on a repetitious basis. Another don't is don't have overlong intros. As quickly as you possibly can, you want to fulfill the expectation that your video is going to deliver on the goods. Think about it like this. Most people are going to discover your video through search. They search through a topic, they find your video, they click it, and they want to know, did I click the right video? What they don't need to know is, hi, this is Jason Pantana with ABC Realty and blah, 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 blah. They don't care about that. What they care about is this video what I'm looking for? That's the tease, kick, hook. So tell them what they're going to get, show them something that means you're good for it, and then deliver on the ultimate promise, the hook of your video. If you start doing overlong intros, you got to keep them short and snappy. Overlong intros make the viewer wait. They become, maybe this is the wrong video. Maybe this isn't the one. Swipe back, go click the next one, you're out. And then if other videos are getting clicked in the search results and not yours, eventually you're gonna get kicked out of the ranking results because you're not getting that click-through performance. Another don't is opening graphics or what are called bumpers or logo stings, whereby it's like your theme song that plays in the beginning for a random 10 seconds or whatever. You don't need those. Once again, those are preventing the viewer from receiving receipt of your promise to deliver to them what they're looking for in your video. And every second that passes, they're like, maybe this isn't the right video. Maybe this isn't the, swipe back, click the next one. Ouch, you're out. Voted off the island. One last don't is what I call niche hopping or niche hopping, however you want to say niche or niche, whatever you prefer. It's the idea of changing subjects. Now, what if I do some home tours and some market updates and I talk about real estate? That's fine, but you have to consider, once again, hidden inside every one of your videos is a map key to who your audience is. And so YouTube's going to look at this video and this video and this video and this video, and it's going to find the common threads, the common denominator about, oh, Jason makes videos like this for people like that. And if that is a very, very confusing audience to YouTube, it's going to have a hard time knowing how to recommend or suggest you. It's going to have a hard time assigning you SEO authority on specific subject matters because you jump all the way around. What you want to do is niche down. You want to get super clear about who your audience is, what you're making content to accomplish, and who it's for, and then do it again and again and again and again. And what will happen is you'll start to cement YouTube's understanding of, oh, this channel makes videos like this for people like that, and then boom, it's going to distribute your content on the behalf of you to get you in front of prospective viewers because it knows how to make that match. YouTube is an incredibly powerful platform, but it's also a little bit temperamental. If you don't understand its mechanics, its algorithm, how to optimize, you might think that it's just a parking lot for your videos at random. It couldn't be anything further from that idea. It's a lead generating factory when leveraged the right way. So I want to hear from you. What did you take away from this episode today? Drop a note in the comments. I want to know where you're going to take action. What did you learn that you didn't know before? And until next week, this is This Week in Marketing.